I could hardly move my arm. What happened? I knew I had been poisoned. It wasn't one of those times that your arm falls asleep because you chose the wrong position to sleep in. No, this was real. It almost killed me, I swear. I had dreams of death and dying, of spears ripping through my heart, taking a little piece out, never to give it back. Pure misery. God knows I needed a cigarette. I found a cigarette butt in the sand, one drag left. A drag I desperately needed. Tasted foul. I was lost. I didn't know where I was, which is embarrassing as a detective, yes, but I couldn't ask one of these locals, a lot of criminals here, in the dark underbucket of the city, riddled with garbage and garbage men, and their ugly families. Of course, this was a part of town I didn't know. I was lost, as I said. So, I ran like a fucking dog to the safest place I could find. An alley. Nobody hangs out in alleys. Why? Ugh. I needed a drink to figure out what happened, you see. What did happen? It was a question that plagued me since I first regained consciousness. The very same question that turned me into a detective when I lost my virginity at the age of 14. What happened? God damn it, let me in. I need a drink! Assholes. The bar was closed. Looks like I would have to figure out who poisoned me the hard way. I hated that way. I left, dejected like an oily old house cat decrepitly clinging with its few remaining dull claws at one last piece of moldy Swiss cheese. But this bar... Something happened at that bar besides the 6 to 10 Merlins I ordered. Merlin, 1 part Merlot, 1 part gin, 1 part ice, hand-cut, gently stirred and heated back up to room temperature in a microwave. My favorite drink. But this bar... Wait, the alley behind the bar. Not the Alibaba. The alley. The alley itself. Yes, I was searching for a lost cat. Mr. Greasepants, as far as I was concerned. I didn't know the real name, but the picture made the cat look quite old, close to death, and utterly undesirable, but dear to a moderately attractive older woman. She told me the cat jumped out of the bag and into an alley. I felt the sudden urge to investigate the alley in detail, the most minute. After all, I was a detective, and fairly decent. I must have stumbled upon something more dangerous than that aptly named escaped feline, for who would poison me over a cat? I looked under things and over things and into things, and I touched what I believed to be a decapitated rat carcass, I swear to God. Fairly well sized, killed by the cat, probably not. But wait, something else. In the throat of the carcass, a cigarette butt with 1 drag left. Pigeon turds. The unmistakable taste of pigeon turds. Why did it taste like a pigeon turd? Damn cigarettes. I should quit smoking one of these days, or at least buy my own pack. I continued the hunt in multiple alleys. Clues. I was looking for clues. They're everywhere if you know how to find them, and I do. But I couldn't put my finger on the right clue, the right alley. Alley. Was that the name of the woman who lost the cat? Or was that the real name of the cat? Alley cat? Impossible. I needed a drink, but a cigarette butt would do, with 1 drag left. No. No. 1 clue. 1 meaningful clue before I start drinking and smoking and speaking rudely to lowly vagabonds. And then it hit me. Pretty obvious, pretty clear. Somebody had clearly lured that cat away from its cozy little handbag. But what could lure dying old Mr. Greasepants to jump out of the bag? Catnip? I remembered that once I was at a house party with an ungodly amount of incense and potpourri bags, or so I thought. I chewed on one of the potpourri bags, and instead of tasting like potpourri, it tasted distinctly like a pigeon turd. Just like that cigarette from the rat carcass. But of course, it wasn't a pigeon turd in my mouth at that house party. It was catnip. Catnip tastes like pigeon turds. But of course I knew that catnip-laced decapitated rat carcass in the dumpster had already been swept away by some overzealous garbage man. What now? I didn't know what to do besides drink. But then I saw it. On the checkered brick wall behind me, a very oddly peculiar small metal plate. I had a feeling I knew what was behind the plate. I used my apartment key to wedge it open, to reveal a can of sardines, a proven device for catching feral cats or instilling a sense of youth in older ones. I was sure it wasn't the only smelly fish-filled plate. I would search for more, oh yes, after a drink. With the clue in my pocket, I went to the bar, my favorite bar, the Round Table, back entrance, no password necessary for the likes of me, and snapped at the bartender to fetch me a double Merlin. It was time to celebrate. I was on to something. Soon I would dust the fish for fingerprints and catch the cat thief before Mr. Greasepants had the chance to meow. Drink, please, at a new bar. Merlin. Quite the magical concoction. The perfect balance between two ineffable things. I was once kicked out of a bar simply for ordering it. Stuffy pricks. I told the bartender to shove it, as they say, something I had heard him say to a traveling cocaine salesman not 5 minutes before. All this thinking made me thirsty. Drink, please. After receiving my third drink, promptly finishing it and ordering a fourth, I made my way for the pool table, ran into a couple of riffraff, challenged one to a game, an old-fashioned game of billiards. All bets were on. I was playing well, real well, never played so well, decided to make a bet to take the man's coat if I won. He took me up on the bet, and then I proceeded to win very quickly, and when I win, I drink. Drink, please! I then told him how funny it was when animals were named after other animals. Badger the bat, quail the snail, dolphin the whale, moose the mouse, caribou, cockatoo, shrew, gnu, kangaroo. I was swiftly punched in the face before I could finish naming all the animals I knew. It wasn't the first time I've spit blood before, but this punch rattled something else in my brain. Made me remember the real name of the cat. Salamander. Salamander, the cat. Mr. Greasepants was better. Ah, boy, my head hurt. I needed a drink, please. Then, with a moderately attractive younger woman that I ushered away from the air hockey table, I went to the shuffleboard table. I was charismatic and told her all about being a detective, living dangerously, unpredictably, charmingly, devilishly. She then asked me how much a detective makes, and I tried to remember the last time I had been paid, which had been a really long time. Then I remembered the photo I received from that woman with Mr. Salamander Greasepants. She looked wealthy and would probably pay well. I should find that cat. The young woman then slapped my hand away from her upper butt and told me to leave, claiming I smelled like fish. I told her that fish smells like fish, at which point the same riffraff came and pushed me into a pile of kegs. I left, with the jacket I'd won, of course. Karaoke, wonderful, my favorite. Free drinks came with a song, though, so I sang songs I hadn't sung since before Mr. Salamander Greasepants was born. The whole bar enjoyed it, singing along, dancing like criminals. After the standing ovation, I collected my 4 free drinks and left. Drink specials! It was 2 for 1 at the next bar. With 4 drinks in front of me, I proceeded to discuss politics with the woman next to me, who merely muttered something about an evil senator tenderly and then seemingly wanted nothing to do with me. That's fine. I'm used to it. I perfected the art of not giving a flipping dick about people when I was younger, when my mother incessantly talked to me about finishing the food on my plate and not feeding it to the cat. The cat. I should really find that cat. But wait, that name. Tenderly, tenderly, tenderly. Very familiar name, Tenderly. Oh, that was the last name of the cat. Mr. Salamander Tenderly Greasepants. Wait, cats don't have last names. With the last name of the woman, most likely. Miss Tenderly. Yes. Ha ha. Tenderly, really, was it? Who was I kidding? The fumes from the sardine in my pocket were clearly going to my head. A lot of mercury in the fish these days, not to mention that the smaller fish get eaten by the bigger fish, and the bigger fish don't care. They've got large sums of fish to fry. Tenderly, tenderly, tenderly. Drink, please. I knew I had been poisoned. It wasn't one of those times that your butt falls asleep because you chose the wrong position to sleep in. No, this was real. Almost killed me, I swear. Wait, what was that? In the sand. A can of sardines. 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 Ah, another sardine with a cigarette butt with one drag left.